Right guys, what's going on? So, been a little bit of a minute since we started the clean / rebuild on this. So today I have started stripping it down a little bit more. I've taken the barrel off and the piston out. Got the bottom barrel gasket off, got the gudgeon pin out, circlip out. So we're down now just at the conrod. And I'm just inspecting it to see how it looks. I was a little bit, a little bit upset about how the barrel was looking. This was freshly plated last time I changed the piston about 60-70 hours ago, and I've got some fair wear marks on the working surfaces. So I'll show you those in a sec, and then let me know what you think in terms of how they look. The cross hatching's still lovely, but I've just got some dark patches and some vertical scoring on the piston barrel, which is what I had last time, which is why I got it replated, and I thought maybe I'd get a bit more out of it than last time. But yeah, I'm not going to replate it again. I'm just going to whack in a B-size piston from an A and just send it. This is like just budget maintenance now really, so we'll go through we were on an A, we'll go to a B piston, then probably a C, and then I might call it a day and replate the barrel again. Not sure if I need to lower my piston interval. The recommended one is 50 hours from KTM, so maybe 60-70 hours is just too much and it starts to wear out. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see what your thoughts are on it. So I'll show you those now. Grab the camera and yeah, tell me what you think. Right, so here we are. So piston, yeah, is fairly coked up. Kind of normal, I guess, after 60-70 hours. Otherwise looking fairly good. No major marks here. The pin looked really good. There was no signs of wear whatsoever on the pin. I'll show that in a second. There's a few witness marks there on the gudgeon pin area from where I had to try and get that circlip in. It was a pain in the ass first time round, but yeah, rings look fine. Obviously I'm not measuring them at all or doing any gaps, I'm just shoving them in. So they should be pre-gapped, I think, these rings, so for a fresh cylinder. But yeah, anyway, that's the piston. So that was going this way. Show you the pin. Literally no marks on the pin at all. It's DLC coated, so I don't really expect many, but pin was looking good, to be honest. It's getting a new pin, piston, rings, everything anyway, and gasket. So coming down to this end then, always a good tip, make sure you fully clothed up. So when you go to get your pin out, when I tried to get my circlip out, it literally, I got it out just a little bit and then got the spring puller in there to just yank it the rest of the way out, and that just sprung out. And I didn't have these here, probably would have gone down there, and then you got yourself a major headache on your hands. So yeah, so this is the small end bearing. There's a little bit of discoloration from it. Wouldn't say there's any scoring, it's more like burn marks, but yeah, slightly worn, I'd say, probably. And yeah, let's fit it for play. So you want no up and down play, which there is none at all. Side to side, a bit of side to side is okay, which there is. I'd say there's a fair amount of side to side, but up and down it's solid as rock. So I still think we're good here. I still think I'm going to maybe whack another 2 pistons in it, and then when it gets to the point where I need to replate the barrel, I reckon the whole engine's coming apart and we'll do a full bottom end rebuild, new bottom end bearings and potentially crankshaft and stuff like that. So, or we just send her till she blows up. That's another option. Equally interested in that option as well, much cheaper. So yeah, that's where we are at the minute. Remember, whilst we're here, it's always good to give it a little play. That's one finger. A bit of a hiya, daddy, hiya, big strong man. Listen guys, it's only weird if you want it to be, okay? Right, so barrel. Try to get a good angle here. So that seems to be coming through well. So yeah, you see what I mean? Cross hatching is still consistent across the board, even on the dark patch there. But yeah, it seems to be just a little bit more worn there. Maybe it's some blow bar on the rings, not sure. and similar on the other side. So little patch there. Not particularly sure what that's all about. It's probably just the wear from the front and back surface, but is that normal after one piston change? 60-70 hours. I'll tell you how many hours exactly it's got. 68 hours. Is that normal for that sort of wear on a piston? Should I have done the piston change sooner? Opinions in the comments, guys. Opinions in the comments. This is a nice little touch from KTM. So the pin's already in there and the clip is already on one side. So that is super helpful considering how difficult it is to fit these clips. So that's going to save me a little bit of a headache. I'm just hoping that it is up. No, it's the wrong side. Fucker, for me, it's the wrong side because I have the exhaust still on and therefore I cannot get good access on the exhaust side, which is this side. Arrows facing this way. This is on the flywheel end, and therefore I either take the exhaust off or I take the pin out. So I think I'm going to take the pin out. There was me saying how helpful they are. Pins are already installed. I'm probably just going to take them all off and clean everything with some brake cleaner. Make sure there's no dust and shit in there. Really unfortunate about the pin, but hey ho. Okay. Remember guys, when dealing with things that are dangerous, safety is key, okay? Glasses, earmuffs, compressor, noise, springs, yeah, safety. Right, I've taken the pin out of the circlip out of the piston, and just brake clean that down, cleaned it with the microfiber cloth. I'm going to blow off the compressor, and then I want to whack the circlip back in on the side that I want it to be on, and see how we fare. Right guys, so we've done a similar thing on the barrel, just giving it a brake clean down, blown it off, cleaned the mating surface on the crankcase there, and yeah, interestingly the wearing marks are less black now, but more just like, yeah, dull patches I'd say. So probably is just wear from excessive wear on those surfaces. Maybe it needed a piston sooner, don't know. So we've got base gasket on, dowels refitted, still got my cloth in there. Well, before we put anything in there, we will lube that up with some assembly oil, okay, before the pin goes in. Then over here everything is fully cleaned and laid out. I need to go check the manual to see the correct way of putting the springs and the oil ring and the compression ring. There's certain ways for them to go, so I'll go double check that. The way I did this last time was pop the piston in, pop the gudgeon pin through, and then tried to get the old circlip in, which was quite difficult still. Then I lowered the barrel over it, and that was really tricky to get all the rings compressed with no ring compressor. By hand, had to ask the missus for some help, and finally after hours got it in, the piston into the barrel. I'm going to try something different this time. I'm going to try fit the rings to the piston, fit the piston to the barrel, lower the piston out the bottom of the barrel, then lower the piston onto the rod, put the pin through while suspending the barrel in the air with the rings already in it, and see how I get on. See if I can get the circlip in that way. It might just be easier for me overall, even though it might be trickier to get the gudgeon pin in. We'll see. But yeah, that's the plan. Right boys and girls, so got all the piston rings in, so I ended up doing the ring gaps anyway. So I whacked the piston rings in the barrel, lowered them to about 10mm below the fire face, and then got a filler gauge in there to see what the ring gap was. Refer to your manual for what that gap should be, but mine 10mm below was less than 1mm for the compression ring and less than 1.2mm for the oil scraper. I think they both came in at around one was 0.25mm and the other one was 0.35mm. So Next job on the list then is to try and get the piston into the combustion chamber. So it's always important when you're doing rings and pistons to oppose your gaps. So the oil scraper says E-top on it, so I put that on the exhaust side, and make sure you have the writing on the top, and that gap is this way, and then the compression ring gap is on the opposite side, and make sure you have the arrow on your piston pointing towards the exhaust. And now I've got to get the compression the piston ring compressor over this, compress the rings down, knock the piston through with a rubber instrument, and then see if I can try and lower it onto the conrod. Right, so status report. Didn't go quite to plan. I was hoping to go from the cam chain side in, but just with everything in the barrel in the way, it's pretty hard to get access to the circlip. So the shock had to come off, the exhaust had to come out, and then I had to switch the circlip that was pre-installed back to the side that KTM originally installed it. There's something about listening to those people who design this thing, you know, it's probably worthwhile for you in the long run. So to save yourself the hassle, don't swap it like I did, and keep it on the correct side, which is the cam chain side pre-installed, and then that way you have to take your exhaust off and you get a much better access through this side. Make sure you got your cloth in, gudgeon pins in, everything's assembly oiled. And yeah, we're going to try and get the circlip in this side. Right, so the circlip is in on this side as well as the other side, so we are locked in. And although it's a little bit finicky just trying to get your finger in there, basically I had one hand in there pressing the circlip in like that, and then another hand with a screwdriver just flicking it in like that. Took me about 2 or 3 attempts, but I got there in the end. And the first time round when I did this, and I put the piston onto the conrod first and then tried to get the rings compressed by hand into the chamber, that was impossible. Do not try that. I actually had to get another set of hands involved in order to try and get all the rings compressed enough to get them in. It was horrible. So much better method, use a piston ring compressor and then pop the pin in and the gudgeon pin clip like this. Do this. Right, so the piston's in and the barrel's all the way down onto the crankcase. There's a little timing pin here that you take it out and then remove the washer from, and then put the bolt back in, and effectively you have to just get the piston to top dead center, and then wiggle it back and forward until this pin just screws all the way in easily, and then that is effectively your piston locked here at TDC, ready for you to do the timing. Make sure your cam chain's just completely staying taut the whole time when you're moving the crankshaft around, because if it gets snagged at all, it can just cause you to have to replace that because it gets kinked and then won't straighten out and it has a tight spot. So always keep that taut and up and out of the way. This barrel is now back on. It's ready for the head now. I believe I'm going to go check the user manual or workshop manual, but that I think is going to be it for today. So that's all I've got time for. It's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night now. So quite good progress. Didn't expect to get that far today. Got the whole piston out, cleaned everything all up, popped it all back together, ready for the head now. So I cleaned the head up a little bit, whack that all back in, check the valve clearances while I'm there, and then hopefully by the end of the next video we'll have the engine all back together, ready for the chassis to be sort of put back around it. So yeah, sweet. Stay tuned if you're liking the video. Please like and subscribe. Does us a big favour. Also, make sure you turn the bell notifications on so you get a notification when we post a video. There's more CBR Fireblade videos coming from Ryan. There'll be the next one uploaded in a sort of week or two on that. and yeah, hopefully I will get this next one out in a couple of weeks as well. So in a bit, stay tuned. Cheers everyone.